And there we are. Yay. Okie dokie. Looks like we're live. Here we go. Sweet. It looks like we're live. I love it when things work like they're absolutely supposed to, which you guys know me. If it can absolutely go wrong, it will, because I'm so not techie. But anyway, we're here. So welcome. Welcome, Rebel Tribe, to another summer strategy session. Today's theme is mindset to money. And trust me, this one's going to hit a little deep and a little hard because we all have those limiting mindset money beliefs. I know I did for a very long time. I'm Melodian, and I'm so glad you're here. And yes, I have got my Stella Adam Cosmic Cowgirl tee on today. If you don't travel Route 66 like we do, you might not know who she is, but she is this larger than life statue it stands tall along uh, Route 66. If you know where the Buck Adam statue is, she's a new addition, Stella Adam, Cosmic Carl Girl. And yes, that's her name. And she's kind of, I don't know, I think I want to make her our unofficial mascot because she is bold and unapologetic, and she was meant to represent everything we stand for in the Rebel Tribe: confidence and strength and passion. So she's that reminder that no matter your past or your zip code or anything, you've got the power to blaze your own trail, and you can do it in cosmic rhinestones if you want to. Speaking of blazing trails, today's guest absolutely fits that description. We are welcoming Tammie Neall. She's a devoted single mom, lifelong learner, and a mindset coach. And she's here to talk about how shifting your mindset can shift your money, and why midlife, and yes, I know I'm 68, but I still consider myself midlife, is the perfect time to say yes to healing and growth and financial freedom. Before we dive in, though, quick reminder: if you guys get all excited today about what you're hearing and you're thinking, okay, I'm really ready to make this real, then you need to get into the Income Lab. It's our upcoming experience where we're going to turn your story and your skills and your smarts into income streams. So I will drop the link to sign up for that in the comments later. But right now, let's jump in. Let me bring Tammie on. Hello, Tammie.
Hi there. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I am so glad you just agreed to be with us today because mindset is so important, as you well know. So let's start with that whole story. How did you first realize that the power of mindset in shaping your financial reality?
Well, I have been working on my mindset for an extremely long time. Is that echoing?
Nope, you're good.
Yeah, it's echoing on my end. Sorry. So anyway, I've worked on my mindset for a really long time, and I came from a family of financial hardship when I was growing up. So much to that story, but you don't realize what you bring from your childhood into your adulthood until you really do some deep dive, and it's very subconscious. But I didn't even know I had a scarcity mindset around money. Like I said, I've worked on my mindset. I teach other people about their mindset. I love empowering women, and for this past few years, I've been a single mom, divorced for about 3 years, and all the financial uh, pressure is on me. I have two college loans. Like I have two girls, one just graduated from college, one's in college. It's a lot of pressure. So growing up in a mindset of not having enough, where the landlord was coming to my parents, we didn't have enough money for rent. Our cars were repossessed. We didn't have heat for a few years. We didn't even have any water at all in our house. Like it was not a good situation. So I vowed to never live like that. So I worked since I was 15 years old, since then, through three childbirths, pregnancies, kids. I've got 2 degrees. Like I just never not worked. And what I realized a few years ago when I was 100% on my own is I just wanted to have that financial security. I called it financial peace. I just wanted to have that extra cushion savings account and retirement fund, because when you're married for a while, you have to give half of your retirement fund to your spouse if you've been married for over 20 years in the state that I live in. So I had to give all that up, and I didn't feel financially secure. I have never felt financially secure. So what I was doing is I was starting all these side hustles. I have a full-time job. I'm also a realtor. And I would just kept saying, if I just work a little bit harder, if I just work a little bit more, then I can build that savings account to where I feel secure. And it just wasn't happening. So what I realized in the last 6 months is how that my money mindset was not good. I kept hearing it, ignored it a little bit, but then I have done the deep dive and reading and listening to every podcast or video there is about money mindset. And let me tell you, some of the things that I have shifted, and they're not really big things, they're things that anybody can do, has made a huge difference in the way that my outlook is on money and opportunities that have been happening for me. So I'm really excited to share that.
So, what do you think are some of the most common mindset blocks that women face when we're trying to grow our income or start a business?
A lot of them are, they don't think that they can do it. They don't think they're smart enough. They don't know how somebody would want to listen to what they have to say. Who's going to pay me to hear my story or my experience? Those are the biggest ones that I hear, is that they just don't have that limiting, they have a limiting belief about what they can offer, and that they just don't know how to do it and they can't learn it. It's just all those can'ts.
That makes sense. We're pretty much raised that way from birth, I think.
Mm-hmm.
so, so what is the difference then between a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset, and how do you know? I mean, I suffered from a scarcity mindset for the longest time, but I didn't realize it. If you'd have asked me, I would have said no. So how do you know which one you're operating from?
Well, that's a really good question, because I didn't know either. And here I, empower people. And what I have learned since then is that a scarcity mindset is when you're constantly fearing that you don't have enough money, like there's just not enough there. And you feel that your bills are never going to get paid. And it's just constant stress around money. And then an abundant mindset is that you shift to thinking there is more than enough money to pay for what you need. You just have to look for the opportunities to be able to make that money or save that money. And it's just, changing the way that you think about it and how you treat money. And, it may sound funny. And when I first heard a couple of these strategies, I was like, well, I'm going to try it, because I'll try anything for a positive spin. And it's worked for me. So whatever works for me, I at least try to share it. But it's definitely just making it, you have to change your mindset to feel like it's abundant and it's there for you, and it's, things can change if you just, you have to adapt a couple little habits. And definitely the way that you talk to yourself, just like with mindset, you have to talk about money a certain way. And I can get into that, but it worked for me.
I know that we talked a little bit, and that a lot of these limiting beliefs actually are shaped in childhood. So how do childhood money stories or childhood past experiences shape our financial habits today?
Well, one of the things that was said to me when I was going through my divorce, um, I worked a couple side jobs when I was married, because just didn't, we just didn't have enough money to pay our bills. I mean, we were just getting in credit card debt. And it was actually my ex-mother-in-law who said to me, because my ex was complaining that, well, she doesn't have to do all these jobs. And that, basically I was putting the stress on myself. But what she said to me really resonated. She told him that, well, she doesn't feel secure. So she had to go do something to help her feel financially secure. So, it's always been up to me. That's how I've had, since I was a child, I had to take care of myself and be independent. And I never thought of it that way. I just knew we needed the extra money, but it was this innate thing that I needed to feel secure because I don't have it. I'm lacking that. And so that has risen with me through my childhood to my adulthood. And then when I'm on my own 100%, um, it really hit me hard that, I got to work harder. I got to just do more because I'm not doing enough. And it really just, it's subconscious. But until you really do the deep dive and start thinking and learning about mindset and all these things that happen to you when you're younger and how you just pull them into your adulthood. And, they may just stay there, but there's this like little gremlin here sometimes and it just comes out. And when you think something bad happens, you're like, oh, I'm not good enough. I should have done better. I should have done more. It's just your subconscious talking to you. And it's these beliefs that have stayed with you since you were a young child. Maybe it's one event or multiple events or whatever. But those are the things that come back to, I don't want to say haunt you, but sometimes they can haunt you until you work through them. And sadly, a lot of people don't recognize that. And, they do other habits like drink and just hide behind that, but not realizing it is something we can work through. But if you don't identify it, then it's just there and you don't understand it. Like you and I said, we didn't understand that we had a scarcity mindset because I sure didn't really think of it that way.
We said you had some things that worked for you. So can you share a practical strategy or a mental shift
Mm-hmm.
that someone can use like right now to begin transforming their money mindset?
Yeah, there's two different things that I can recommend that are very fast and easy. One is, so if you get a bill, an unexpected bill for your brakes, brakes in your car can be very expensive. So for me, when that happened, because, I'd get my savings account just about up here. And then all of a sudden I've got to take out $1,000 to pay something for my car. And I would almost cry sometimes because I'm like, I just want to get to this point so I don't have to work as much. And instead of looking at it like that, and like looking at it like, oh my gosh, it's another bill, how, just feeling defeated, I say to myself, and I just did this with my daughter's college tuition when I had to pay a chunk, I said, well, for the brakes, I'm like, okay, I get to buy brakes for my car because my car is going to keep me safe having these brakes. And my car allows me to go to work to make the money to live. Like you got to put it in a whole positive spin. I get to pay my daughter's tuition so she can go to college and she can have a career that she wants to have. Instead of looking at the bill as an enemy, you have to look at it as it's something that's helping you. And it's something that, I have a car. I know the expenses of a car, but I still get upset when I get a bill for tires or the brakes or whatever. But just shifting your brain like that, and you have to really think about it because, it doesn't just turn on for a second. You might get upset and you're like, okay, think of it a different way. But it really does help like clear your mind because it's something that you have to do, and you get to do it versus thinking of it something bad. The other thing that I did is I created money buckets. And so I have this bucket called the Fun Fund. I have one for bills, like regular bills. I have one for savings, and I have one for retirement or credit card debt or whatever debt, like college loan debt. So it's these buckets, and every paycheck I get and or bonus check or commission check, whatever checks come in, a certain percentage always goes in those buckets. So the Fun Fund, for instance, that's my smallest bucket. But even if it's $50 every paycheck, I have, quite a bit of money in there right now. And that money is just for me. So when I want to get my nails done, I can go get my nails done without feeling the guilt. Let me tell you how much guilt I felt and how many times I would not go get my nails done, which my nails, having them done, makes me feel so good. It's the one thing that makes me feel good. I hardly ever do it because I don't want to put the money out because I'm like, well, if I just put that money into here, then, I'll grow it a little bit more, but that money just doesn't grow. But when I have been doing these money buckets for the last 6 months, I have actually more money in my bank account than I had ever before. The stress has dwindled. I mean, it's mind blowing, to be honest. There's not been any more income that's come through. It's just that I have the money set aside, and it's crazy to me. I think when it was just in your bank account and you had to pay the bills, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but the money buckets, I think, have been a huge asset to the way that I think about money, and just the stress that's been relieved because I am able to put it in every area that I need to put it in. Hopefully that makes sense.
It actually does. I know all about all of the looking at your bills in a positive spin, but I'd never thought about money buckets, and I like that idea. I'm gonna have to implement that one myself.
Let me tell you, the smallest thing, and even just the little silly things is I've I find money on the ground, even if it's a quarter, a penny. I like cherish that coin. I have a little section in my car, and it's like 50 cents in there right now. A lot of pennies, but I have found this money on the ground, and then when I find it, I just thank the universe for the money that I found. And like, you just have to treat money as a friend. And I was not. I mean, I would just get so upset with it. And I almost would take it out on like the mechanic, or I would get an attitude. Like I knew I was doing it because I was just like, because they don't understand your story. It's like, I just want to get so much money in my account. And now I got to give my money to you to fix my car, which is going to keep me safe, which I need. And I'm projecting it out on others, and it's like, you can't do that. You got to just think positive about it, and change the way of thinking, and it just makes you feel better.
So, since we're talking a little bit about mindset to actual money, how does mindset work influence like pricing and selling and confidence in your business?
Well, I think a lot of people struggle with that in the beginning about, what they offer, and, how to price it, because they don't think that they're, worthy of these high prices. But we all have to realize we have a story. And when you coach, you're helping people through situations and giving advice, and just helping them get unstuck possibly. And you have something to give to other people to help them. And one of the things that I did is I just realized how many more things that I can offer to people, whether it's a webinar, or, ebooks, or, the coaching, or just strategies, just the, great community, private community on Facebook where they can talk and share their feelings. I think it's just, with experience and just feeling more confident with yourself, that you have to really figure out what works for you and what makes you feel good. But you have to realize that you have the value, and people do pay for that because they want what you have and they want what other people have, but they don't have the skills necessarily to get there, and you can teach them those skills. So you should be paid for, what you have to offer. But a lot of people just don't see what their value is, what I've run into.
Well, I know when I joined my first coaching program, when I decided to finally actually get serious about building a business, and I joined my first coaching program, and one of the questions that they asked, and I think I've been asked this every time I've joined any kind of coaching program, is how much do you want to earn? And I remember quickly calculating in my head, okay, well, I need to make this much to do this and this. And I think a lot of us just feel stuck in that. We just need to earn just enough, okay? Just enough to cover whatever it is, instead of going, I want to make 20,000 a month or
Yeah.
100,000, whatever. We always calculate quickly in our little minds. I want to earn just enough
Right.
to
Yes. I
cover.
see that.
How do we break that? What's your advice for breaking out of that?
Well, what I've learned is that as you grow in your business, I just get, I don't want to say bigger coaches, but coaches that you have to pay more money to. They really help you with your mindset around that, because just as you grow in your business, I think you just always have to grow your skills. And one of those is your, skills of what you're worth. And people need to, are like the person that I'm working with, are really just by what they are giving me for the coaching that I'm getting from them. I understand so much more. And it's just, talking to other people, learning from great coaches, and reading lots of books, listen to lots of podcasts, where I never understood in my time that people would pay me to do what I absolutely love to do. And that's to help other people, because that's not my goal. My goal is to help other women. But so many people don't realize how much a great coach can actually earn, and the value that they have to help you build your skills and to help you build your self-worth. Like it's so, I just really did the deep dive into learning from other coaches. And I don't think it's ever going to stop, because especially with mindset, and if you come from a trauma from childhood all the way up, it's not something that you learn overnight. It's something that you have to constantly work on. It's part of what I published a book this past year, and it was about reinventing myself while I was going through my divorce. And that's what I mentioned in there. I did 31 days of rediscovering myself, where every day I did something new. I did something that I hadn't done in years, or I just did something that was different. And then I just built on it. Was a lot of affirmations and reflection and things like that. But what I realized when I did it and finished it, I'm like, oh, this is not just 31 days of this. This is like every day I've got to do something. Like it's an ongoing process, but it really, really set me up for just relaunching my life, which was like the best thing I ever did. It was 4 years ago this month that I did that, because it's my birthday month. And it was 31 days. So it's just, you really have to work on yourself if you want to change. And affirmations, I feel like affirmations are a huge part of it, but gratitude, meditation, journaling, there's all these ways to help ourselves. And if you want, like for me, I never understood my worth. I was never enough, all those things. But just working on that and working with great coaches has really pulled me in that other direction that I needed to go.
So, what is your favorite daily practice or mindset ritual for staying aligned with abundance?
So I'm a little extra in almost everything I do, overachiever, perfectionist. That's all that, childhood, whatever. But so my morning, so I have to get up and go to another job right now. So it varies. So the days that I'm home, I do it a little differently on the weekend. But this is what happens every day. I always write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, no matter what it is. 3 things every day. Have a journal for that. I have 5 things that I manifest. I write them 5 times every day, and I say them as I'm writing them. And I journal sometimes. I don't journal all the time, but journaling is a part of my life. And then affirmations. I have affirmations for money, affirmations for personal that I say every day. And I try to meditate. I am not a good meditator. I try. I do work out every day. I try to meditate, but I do all of those things. And it might be like 5 to 7 days a week, because there might be some of those that get missed during the week, but it's part of my life. And it's not hard, because it's literally doing all of that except the working out. It could be 15 minutes a day, but I really kind of divide mine up, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
What's one belief or affirmation that you want every woman listening to
I wrote
walk
this one
away with
down.
today?
I wrote this one down because I have so many. I am enough is one. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to say the one I wrote down, because the one that I say to myself all the time, and it's I am enough, and I always have been. That last phrase is the big turning point for me, is that I am enough and I always have been. I was always trying to prove myself to who I don't know, maybe to myself, but that is my biggest, I have enough, I'm abundant, but I am enough and I always have been. That's been my biggest thing that I've worked on my entire adult life, I think. But
Well, that's an important one, I think, for most women. That's the one I would say that's the one we all struggle with. We
yeah.
just don't think we're enough, and we are, and we always have been. So where can people connect with you if they want to learn more, they want to work with you? Because you've got some great stuff here. Like I said, I'm going to go do money buckets. So you've got
So right
where
now I have a website. It's called Rise and Reclaim. So it's RISEANDRECLAM, and, or excuse me, with Tammie, TAMMIE. So I can send you that, but it's Rise and Reclaim with Tammie. It's my website, and it has all my social media icons in there. So you can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I have a private Facebook group that I love working with women and trying to help build your mindset. I'm actually offering a free mindset challenge in that group that's coming up. So lots of things that I'm doing in there. And of course, working one-on-one coaching. I help a lot of women with divorce, going through divorce, but you don't have to be going through a divorce to coach with me. I work with a lot of different women, but it seems like a lot of those women gravitate to me.
I wish I'd have known you when I got divorced. I struggled so hard with money. So
It's
hard.
it's not easy, let me tell you. And one thing, just to say this, I was talking to somebody the other day, and some of us have more resources, or are more resourceful than others, and we take that for granted. I think because there's people that will come to me, and when you're talking about pe- people getting paid for their worth. And this is the part where I think some coaches may not realize, or just people who want to be a coach or to work and help other people don't realize, is that you may be more resourceful than somebody else. And that's nothing against that other person. They just don't know how to find the answers. Like for me, who has been always independent and never relied on anybody else but myself, I know how to go search things and find things. So when I got divorced, I just did it. I just called the attorney. I did this, I did that. I figured it out. But I have people coming to me, and they don't even know where to start. So that's one thing that I've had to, it's really been an eye opener for me and really helped me understand where people do need my help and my services. So it's just, just being more resourceful and having the information to give to other people. And I think just if we are resourceful, then we may not think that, you know, we have a lot of information to give, but we do, because especially if you are a coach, you know what I'm saying. It's like we know that we can help. And just like we don't know everything in every category, we only know what we're working with. But yeah, so that was an eye opener. I've had more of that lately, where people are like, I don't know where to start. So I'm like, let me help you.
I know. I get asked that a lot. It's like, well, how can we coach people on this? We can just go look it up on Google. Yeah, that's not as easy as you think, number one. And number two, sometimes you just don't want to go look it up on Google. You want an in-depth guide that's been there before you, that can keep you from.
Yeah, there's so many steps too.
Yeah.
It's like you could go this way, like Google's not going to do all that. You're like, okay, if this, then that, and here's and that, one step at a time. Yeah, Google can get overwhelming. Like I had a situation where there were all these steps to this process, and I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. It's like 20 steps. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. So I explained 1, 2, and 3. Come back to me after you finish 3. Then we'll go over it, and then we'll go to 4, 5, and 6. So just breaking it down like that for people too, because it's just, there's so many steps to things, especially getting a divorce, and if you have kids and a house, and all those things.
So we're getting ready to open up the Income Lab, which is all about turning knowledge into income, because we all know something. We
Yes.
have some skills, some knowledge that we can use to make money. So, but from your perspective, why would mindset be essential before taking that kind of action?
Just as I've been speaking about mindset, it's the way you think, what you think about, you bring about. And if you say you don't have enough money, I can't make enough money, I don't know how to make money, you're not going to. The same thing with somebody told me that this a few months ago, because I was a very big person who would say, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. What are you doing? I've just been busy. I try not to say that. I'm taking it out of my vocabulary, because if I keep saying it, all I'm going to be is busy, and just say, I filled up my calendar. I got this on my calendar, but I'm trying not to say I'm so busy. But it's really how you speak is what it's going to be. Like, just if you say, I don't know how to make money, this is too hard, you really have to work on that mindset. And it is something you have to work on. It's like I said, daily habits become, what your thoughts become your beliefs become your thoughts, all those things. And I have said my affirmations for probably 15 years. And the one thing that I know from affirmations, if anything, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about myself. They're real affirmations. They're not, like, I don't go out and say, I want to go buy a mansion next week. I mean, I don't say that. I just talk about myself and say, I have more than enough money. I make money effortlessly. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. Those are all true things, and they can happen, you know. So I think just the mindset has a big part on everything that you do.
Agreed. Well, Tammie, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to drop the link to your website in the comments. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, they can.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate you being here today.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Bye.
Bye. Wow. I mean, how good was that? So huge thanks to Tim for reminding us that your past does not disqualify you from wealth. Okay, it kind of actually prepares you for it. So whether you're just starting over like me, not really starting over, but doing some revision, or starting fresh, like a lot of you in the group, you deserve confidence, you deserve clarity, and you deserve cash. Okay, so stop stressing about that. You deserve it. And speaking of clarity, our next big moment together is Wednesday, the power lunch. The theme is clarity is the new strategy. So, because when you're clear on who you are and what you're building, trust me, the strategy part gets a whole lot simpler. So bring your notebook, bring your questions, bring your glitter, bring whatever. We're talking clarity on Wednesday. And then next week is session 3 of the summer strategy sessions with a powerful training on affiliate marketing. You know, it's one of my favorites. How to turn what you already love into extra income. It is simpler than you think, and it's way more fun than you'd expect. And of course, if you're ready to stop dabbling and start doing, get on the list for the Income Lab that's coming up soon. And this is where we're going to put it all together: mindset, marketing, and money. So until then, ladies, stay rebellious, stay brilliant, stay bold. And remember, whether you're on Route 66 with me in the hubs or you're on your own personal road to reinvention, channel your inner Stella Atom, cosmic cowgirl, because the world needs your voice loud and clear. Have a great day, ladies, and we will see you Wednesday.